writers, and welcome to our writing workshop for Monday for week 2. Um, Sometimes when you really like a book, you want to share it with somebody else. And one good way of sharing what you think about the book with somebody else is to write them a friendly letter. I say a friendly letter because there are all kinds of different letters. If you're writing to a store or another kind of business to talk to them about something about the business, that would be called a business letter, and that's a different kind of letter. But a friendly letter really just means a letter that you write to a friend. And I'm going to talk to you today about a couple of things. One is how we write a friendly letter. The other is the kinds of things I want you to put in your letter. And then the third thing is how you send the letter to someone in the class, because we're all going to be doing that today. Ready? All right. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the parts of a friendly letter. The very first thing you have to do at the top on the right is you write the date, the month, the day, and the year. The date always goes up here. You don't have to write the word date. I just wrote that to show you that the date always goes on the upper right-hand corner. Then you go down to the next line, and over on the left, you write what's called the greeting. That's where you write dear, starting with a capital D, and then the person's name. Don't forget to start that with a capital. I used Nelson here just as an example. And then that is followed by a comma. Dear, name of friend, comma. And that's called the greeting. Then you drop down 2 lines and you write the letter. This is called the body of the letter. And what you do first is you push your first word in. That's something called indenting. So you push your first word in. You don't start way at the side for your body. Okay? You write the body of the letter, whatever it is that you want to tell your friend. Then at the end, you have a closing, which could be something like your friend. You could say love, sincerely, yours truly. There are lots of ways to have an ending. Today I wrote your friend, and then you sign your name. I used Ishrat as an example, and Ishrat's name goes right under the closing. So there's the date in the upper right. Move over to the left and you write the greeting with a comma, body of the letter, the closing, and the signature. So what's going to go in our letters to start with? Well, you're reading a lot of series books. Reading Frog and Toad, you're reading the Amber Brown books, and now you've got the books you're reading in your book clubs. So you have all kinds of thoughts about books you're reading. And you could also be reading books just on your own, too. So you can pick any book that you really liked in some way. And I want you to pick somebody in the class that you're going to write a letter to about it. I'd rather you write a letter to somebody who's not in your book club, but it's okay. If you really want to write to somebody who is in your book club, that's okay too. And one of the things that we do when we're writing to a friend about a book we like is we talk about a character. And we may tell our friend what that character is like and why we think that's so awesome. But an important thing to do also is not just tell what the character is like, but then give examples of it so the person you're writing to can really see. Let me show you an example of what I'm talking about. I'm going to start with a question because remember, that's a way of getting the reader's attention. There are lots of ways of getting the reader's attention, but one good way is to start with a question. So I started with, do you like reading books about funny kids? So I got the reader's attention with that question. And then I tell the person I'm writing to, in this case it's Nelson, what book I think he should read that has funny kids in it. So I say, well, you should read Amber Brown is Not a Crayon. So far, so good, right? I said books about funny kids. I'm mentioning Amber Brown. And now I'm going to start talking about what character I think is funny. So here's what I wrote. Amber is hilarious. So I'm giving a specific character that I think is funny, but not quite done yet. Now I have to explain. In what way is she funny? Let me give an example just to show what I'm talking about. Because maybe what I think is funny isn't what Nelson's going to think is funny. So I give an example. One reason is she's very messy. Okay, we know that's true, right? But I'm not even going to stop there. I'm going to say more about that reason now. I'm going to give more details about that reason. She even finds an old sandwich in her desk one day. Remember when she found that peanut butter and M&M sandwich? Not that that was a bad sandwich, but it had been there for a while. And then I'm going to kind of wrap it up at the end. I think you'd enjoy Amber Brown is Not a Crayon. And then again, my closing and my signature. So I started with a question. I mentioned a type of book that I think my reader might like, and then mentioned the title of it, the title of a book that has that quality. And then I talked about a character that has that quality too, and I gave some explanation and examples. So let me read the whole letter to you again. And today I want you to pick any book that you liked, and I want you to write to a friend in the class about that book. March 30th, 2020, Dear Nelson, do you like reading books about funny kids? Well, you should read Amber Brown is Not a Crayon. Amber is hilarious. One reason is she's very messy. She even finds an old sandwich in her desk one day. I think you'd enjoy Amber Brown is Not a Crayon. Your friend, Ishrat. All right, so you're going to try to write a letter that has that form to it and does some of the same things that I did in my letter. Now let's talk for a minute about how you're going to find your friend's email address and how you're going to send the letter. So the first thing you're going to do is log on to Google Classroom. And at the top of the page where there are those words, stream and classwork, there's also a page that says people. And on that page, it has everybody in our class and their first and last name. So their email address is always going to be their first name dot last name at ps119x.net. So you can figure out their email address from their first name dot last name, and then the end is the same as your email address. So far, so good? Awesome. Then you're going to go to those 6 dots again. Remember those 6 dots I showed you? Those 6 dots that look like that in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. And when you click on those, a menu is going to drop down. And again, you're going to click on the red M. That's for mail. Okay, when you get there, you're going to click on something that's in the upper left-hand corner on the other side of the screen. And it has like a rainbow cross and it says the word compose. The word compose means to make something. In this case, to write a letter, to compose a letter. Okay, so you're going to click on compose in the upper left-hand corner. And then a window with an email screen is going to pop up. You're going to put their email address where it says to. On that email screen, it's going to say to. You put their email address, first name dot last name at ps119x.net. Then where it says subject, you're going to write 202 letter. You could even write your name if you want, but 202 letter. We always want to start our emails with 202, so it makes it easier for your friends to find it. Then you're going to write your letter using that format that we just talked about. And when you're all done, you're going to click send. Now, hopefully you'll get a letter from somebody too. And when you do, I want you to answer the letter from the person that you got. It could be just saying, thanks for your letter. I'm going to read that book. Okay. But today I want you to pick a book that you liked, write to a friend about it, about why you liked it, and make sure to give some examples and to send it to them. All right. Enjoy. And I'll see you later. Bye-bye.